I'm Heidi Sexton, and today on the Evolving Together podcast, the podcast for navigating all things midlife with honesty, humor, and heart, I'm talking to my friend Lianne about something that may seem so trivial, but is really huge, and that is our hair, and specifically gray hair, because that is a topic that comes up even before midlife is upon us. It gets even more of a topic as we get older because we have more gray hair. But anyway, so thank you, Lianne, for agreeing to come on and talk about hair,
Of course.
specifically gray hair. It's funny because you're right down the street recording, and I'm like, I wish I had my Airstream studio all done because I'm like, we could do it face
I'll
to
come back
face.
again.
Okay, good. Yeah. It just seems silly because I was making my coffee and I was looking out the window. I'm like, yep, there's Rigo's house right there. By the way, your hair looks great. It always looks great.
Thank you.
I love the bangs. I keep thinking about doing bangs, but
I think I'm growing them a little bit. I think I'm going to do more. They were pretty straight across, and I think I'm going
yeah,
to do a little more face framing.
they look so good on you. But see,
Thank
mine
you.
aren't straight. So when I do bangs, they just got to get weird and wavy and they're
It does take some training,
Mm.
a lot of fixing.
Oh, I don't know if I have time for that.
It's really not as bad as it seems. Like you can just blow dry them with a round brush and go.
Oh, I could probably, I have the wand that has
Yeah,
the air that goes through the brush. And
perfect.
that's how I do my hair. My hair is
Yeah.
so low maintenance. Yours looks effortless. So,
Even
well,
for a hairstylist, I kind of just blow and I hardly ever fix my hair. I throw a curl in it for you today, Heidi.
oh, it's nice. I like it. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on specifically is because you know a lot about hair. You've been doing this for a while, but you're also getting into midlife yourself, or I guess you are
Yes.
in midlife. You don't look like
Yeah.
it,
Thank
but
you. But yeah, definitely midlife. I'm 45.
okay, yeah, you're in it then.
It's kind
Okay.
of scary.
It's weird. Well, I didn't know I was in midlife until I think I was like in my early to mid 50s. I was like, "Oh crap, I am in my
Hmm.
midlife." Didn't even occur to me before. I don't know why.
I feel like I crept into it and then, I mean, you realize when you become the oldest person in the room doing something, and then you realize like when people call you ma'am more than
Oh,
not. And I'm fine with that. Like, even when I was in my 30s, it's a Southern thing anyway. And
right.
so I don't know, it didn't bother me. I mean, I think the first time when I realized people were doing it, then I was like, yeah, yeah, put
You're
a
like,
ma'am on it. I earned it.
that's right. I know now you want it, right?
Yeah.
So gray hair specifically, it has a weird texture.
Hmm.
And I didn't know that. You know, I first started going gray. I was in my 20s and I would have like a few strands here or there, but it was more than most 20-year-olds. And I didn't really understand how that texture changed my hair. And then the
Hmm.
color didn't quite take as well. And there's just so much. It's not like regular hair. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm talking about like white people hair. I don't know anything about ethnic hair. So this is obviously my experience, and you know, the texture's weird.
Yes.
Um, and it has its life of its own. But I want to talk about when we do start getting gray, because it does happen. I don't know of anybody that has not gone gray at some point.
Yeah. I mean, there
uh,
are some. Now, I had a client who, she's lucky. She's in her early 60s, and she barely has. She has maybe just a little tiny bit here, in the hairline, and she's barely gray. And everyone's just different. So
yeah.
I started graying in my 20s, particularly after my first pregnancy. After I had her, my hair started graying, and then that's when I was blonde pretty much my whole life, and then started graying and started getting darker in my 20s after. And then that's when I started playing. Then I was like, well, if I'm going to be gray in my 20s, I'm going to be at whatever color I want to be. Like, I did everything: red, blonde, black, blue, you name it. Like, I did it. And then when I decided to just go gray, it's because I was doing hair all day and I was doing everyone else's hair. And then every 3 weeks, because mine is predominantly like here,
Oh,
like mine's not really anywhere but in this quadrant, like in the top quadrant. And
yeah.
and then some in my bangs. But if you pull my bangs back, it's even dark, or it's even still brown here. So this is not really gray under here. But whenever I started seeing my roots in my part every 3 weeks, I was like, I don't wanna color my hair every 3 weeks when I color everyone else's hair. So I would be at home, like, doing my roots, and then Drake would be, like, touching up the back, and, like, he was, I think, 12 at the time, and I'd be like, "Just follow the
Child
lines, I'll
labor.
part it." Yeah. He's like, "Okay." Um, but I was like, "You know what? I don't wanna do this anymore." And also too, I did not like how women felt like they couldn't go gray. And so I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you can." So I remember, telling Jean, the salon owner, that I was like, "I'm just gonna grow out my gray." She's like, "You can't do that." I said, she's like, "You do hair." And I was like, correct. Like, I can do it." I was like, and then, of course, when I started growing out, she's like, "Oh my God, it looks so much better than I thought it was gonna look."
That's it.
Um,
Oh, that's
she
interesting. Yeah,
wasn't a big
you can't.
supporter at
Yeah.
first. She was like, "What are you gonna do?" I think sometimes even in the hair world, they think if you help someone go gray, you are then eliminating a client, but you're not really eliminating a client. You're
Mm-mm.
helping them get through something that they probably already feel terrible about, or not so great about, or unsure about, maybe not terrible, but then they're still going to come. I mean, all my transition clients, they're still all my cutting clients. They still come back for haircuts. And then when people want to make that transition themselves, then they're like, "Oh, well, go to Lianne, she'll help you." And I
Yeah.
will say that it is a strong commitment, and you have to be ready to embrace it, because depending on your starting point, it is a journey. People don't realize that it takes about it. Now, if you have short hair, that's the easiest, because you're going to grow a short head of hair quicker than if you're really attached to your long hair and you have to grow a whole head of hair. It typically takes 1.5 to 3 years, depending on the length, how quickly your hair grows, and the length of your hair. So you have to
Wow.
think a half an average is a half an inch of new growth a month. And half an inch is, not very much.
Right.
Even though it seems like when you have color all the way up to it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, in 3 weeks I have grays again." It's like, it seems like it always grows faster when you don't want it to grow
100%.
than when you
Yeah.
want it to grow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I just try to do like a thorough consultation with people before we go there, and let them know, I know you see all these magnificent transformations, like Jack Martin, the colorist, and I think he's in California, and all these different gray transition colorists. And shame on some of them. Some of them do, some of them don't, but shame on some of them for not showing what it looks like in 6 weeks. Like, after they walk out beautifully gray, well, that's just a tonality. Color fades warm, so your low lights lighten and your highlights fade into blonde again. Like, the toner comes off, and then that what you highlighted to tone gray then becomes blonde. So you do have to, like,
Oh.
tweak it and continue, like, you have a plan. Most people who I walk through it, it depends on where they're starting from. The lighter your hair is, the better. If you're starting with, like, really dark hair color, that's a not a great place to start at.
That was me.
But if some people will just thug it out, and they will get 6 inches of new growth, and then cut my hair into a pixie. I'm like, I'm all for it.
That's what I
Because then you
did.
just, yep,
Yeah.
then you just cut it all
That's what
off.
I did the second time. Because the
Yeah.
first time I went gray, I had a toddler and then 2 slightly older kids, and I was like, "Oh, I got all this gray, I can't keep up with the roots," and I was using, like, it was like a powder or something to kinda, like, fill in
Yeah.
the. Yeah, and it was actually really worked really well, but I couldn't even keep up with that. I had a business at the time. My organic, soap and body products business was pretty busy, and I was like, I did not have the time and the energy to keep up with everything, so I said, "I'm gonna go gray." And I saw myself in a picture after it
Mhm.
had been, I'd always had kind of short, pretty short, like a pixie kinda cut, but I had decided for some reason I was gonna grow it all one length to about here, and I saw a picture of myself, it was, like, around Thanksgiving or something, and I was holding my son, who I think was, like, 3, 2.5. I was horrified. I was like, "I cannot believe I look that bad," and nobody told me, for one. I mean, it was gray, but I looked exhausted. I was exhausted. I was not very healthy at the time, but I just looked like crap. And I said, "That's it." And I cut it all short again, and I went back to my black henna or whatever I was using at the time, and I did not go back to gray again for probably 10 years. And
Yeah.
then I was like, when I really got sick of the roots, I said, "Okay, that's it. I'm committing." So I cut my hair pretty short again because it had kind of grown out a little bit, and I just went through that difficult, like, ugh, that looks horrible, the skunk, but then it gets the longer skunk and for me, I mean, I was so committed because I didn't wanna use the color anymore. I was
Mhm.
just really done with it, and I barely know how to put on makeup. I know we've we've talked about this before. I'm like, little blush, I'm learning how to use some
That's all you need.
foundation, and I
Less is more anyway. Midlife, less is more.
yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And that's something that you and I have talked about. I don't even know how to do it, so trying to learn it is just like, oh, it's too much. But so when I finally went gray, it was okay, that was a release. But I have so many friends of mine that are kinda toying with the idea, if you're not ready,
You're
you're
not
not
ready.
ready
Yeah.
because it's a commitment,
It is
you
commitment.
know?
And I will
Yeah.
say that I am here to represent and support everybody. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Uh, You can color your hair till before you hit the casket. I don't that's if that makes you feel good, honey, I don't that's you. If you're allowed to change your mind so you can decide you want to do it and then all of a sudden it's okay to be like, I don't really like this and then go back. I just want to try to remove the condemnation out of all of it and the pressure. And a lot of people always say, well, mine won't look like yours. You have no idea what yours will look like until you grow it out. And I don't mean to like here, because still, like if my hair was like red from here down, you still don't understand what your hair is going to look like until it fully grows out. So you have to be confident and tough during the transition, and you have to be able to get used to looking at yourself that way. That's no different than if you just change your hair color altogether. If you go from blonde to, copper or, whatever. Like I always say, sometimes it's a shock. And so 72 hours. But you do have to, there are times like you have to settle into the fact that I'm not 25 anymore, even though some people are gray at 25. And then when you look at yourself in the mirror, you have to like, oh, okay, that's me now. Like, and just embrace it. I will say that most of my clients who finish it, go all the way with it, they feel better. They feel more secure after the transition is over than they did hiding the grays every 3 weeks with their hair mascara and their root sprays and their whatever. They feel more secure after it's finished, which, like you said, that's a journey, but they get more compliments. Most people don't even realize my hair is gray, especially young people. They're like, oh, your hair is
I
highlighted.
didn't.
And
I
I'm
realize that.
no,
No, I
it's
didn't.
gray. It's all gray. And mine looks different than some. Some people have these super cool money pieces, like their hair will just be white on one side or just white streaks here and dark here, or every salt and pepper looks different. Mine is silver and brown still. So my pepper is not dark, really. Um, so mine's just like silver and brown. And some
That's what
people,
mine is. I still have a lot of
yeah,
brown in
brown.
the back, and I
Yep.
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I think but
Because
you
then the
said
lighter takes over and that's more of what you see. Yeah.
yeah. You said something too, and I think it's like a twofold process. It's like you have to there's that commitment to saying, "Okay, I'm gonna go gray, I'm gonna do this," or "I'm not gonna go gray." I mean, that's an option too because, like you said, if you're not ready, like you said, you can go into your casket that way. It's like it's a
Yeah, it doesn't
personal
it's your
choice.
life, it's a personal choice.
Yeah, but I think there's this stigma about I feel like there's a stigma about women coloring their hair or a judgment, and then there's also the judgment of people that don't,
100%
and it's not the same for men because, I mean,
at all.
men are distinguished and the salt
And
and
women are
pepper.
hags.
Yeah,
I hate
exactly, and
that.
it
But they're
pisses me
not.
off. No,
Oh,
I
yeah, I
know.
mean, it's
Yeah,
aggravating, and I tell
yeah.
people this particular client, she was trying to gray transition, and it was actually her husband who was like, "What are you doing? Like, that looks terrible." And I was, "Well, what color is his hair?" She's like, "Oh, it's gray." And I'm like,
Yeah,
and I mean,
yeah.
I have the things I wanna say, but, like,
Right.
I'm like, "You should probably just tell him." But it's your hair, but we all make concessions, and you don't wanna feel you want to still feel pretty. And so if your support system is not helping you feel pretty in whatever stage of life that you're in, then you should probably find a new support system. I would never say that it's a personal thing too, but you also have to kind of learn how to just rock it on your own.
Yeah.
But it's a commitment. There is a stigma. I do know that people who embrace it and go with it typically feel better after, they've done it and conquered it. And unfortunately, you're never going to have to look far to find a critic. So I'm like, well, don't lean into the critics. Lean into the people who are trying to help you on your journey and encourage you, whether it be your weight or your
Eh,
beauty standards are just
uh,
beauty standards are just different for women than they are men. Men
yeah.
seems to be able to skate under the I mean, and not all, because overweight men have, hard times and issues too, but definitely the gray hair issue is way more it's way tougher of a subject for women, but I see so many people embracing it now. It's like a thing. It's like
It's
a
nicer.
trend, and I love to see these women's journeys that, hairstylists and non-hairstylists, where they just raw dog it and don't color, don't transition, don't integrate. They just rock in their black line of demarcation and they're just, this is it. And they are
Yeah.
not cutting it. They're not, and I'm like, and I love that too. But
Yeah.
even if you can still color your hair and integrate the gray. So I always say, rather than full color, integrate rather than eliminate. If you're going to be gray, integrating your gray in with your highlights and lowlights and fashion colors and stuff, you can make it look nice without totally eliminating it, and you still can do fun things with your hair. I'm in the middle of growing. I bleached out just the underneath since this was really not gray, and I would put fashion colors on just under here. And even this, I haven't touched up, or it's like a year grown out because it's like this is all natural, but this is still. And I haven't put anything on it just because I just forget that it's under there sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
all like faded from orange and blue and whatever. But you can still do fun things with your hair underneath, or you can do a little like pieces or whatever. You can still have fun with your hair and still leave most of the gray in it. You don't have to just grow out the gray and
Yeah.
and feel like
I
you
like that blending, that transitioning concept because
yeah.
I think that is something what you said about looking in the mirror and you're like, "Who is this person?" I mean, that happens whether you have the same hairstyle and color all through midlife. You just start looking in the mirror and you're like, "Oh, wait, what
Yeah, I
the
got a little turkey neck and a little yeah.
my profile, what is this thing under my chin?"
Yeah.
You know? And these like, wrinkles. I tried a, like a powdery kind of foundation that was meant for, like, older women. We talked about this. I think it was
Yeah.
the Laura Geller, I think it was. I'm like, "Well,
Which
I'm gonna
that's
just"
that's great makeup actually.
well, it didn't work for me, but, I
Yeah.
mean, I know people that love it, and I put it I was it was, kinda like a powdery, creamy whatever. Horrible. It was so
Yeah.
bad. I was like, "Get this stuff off my face."
Yeah. You
It went
gotta
into
do what works for you. It
every
went in
line,
every little yeah.
everything, yeah, but then I gave it to my friend Connie, and she was like, "I'll take it." She loves it.
Yeah.
She's younger than me, but not by much.
Makeup for aging skin. Um,
Mm,
that's a whole other topic.
right.
Because you do things a certain way for so long, and then you feel like one day you're like, well, this isn't right anymore. This doesn't work the same. And you're like, well,
Oh, yeah,
now
yeah.
what do I do? But yeah,
It
so I used to wear like crazy eyeshadow and crazy eyeliner and crazy colors. And then the older I got and my skin changed, I was like, this just doesn't look as cute anymore.
right,
It
yes.
just doesn't. Like, I love it. I love drag makeup and I love all that. I just can't rock it the same way I used to only because it doesn't look as good on my skin anymore. So I
Yeah.
just live vicariously through I follow a lot of different people on social media who still do super dramatic makeup and I love it and I love to watch them do it. I
That's
just can't do it anymore.
That's actually a guilty pleasure of mine. I'll find these reels and I'll just like binge watch how to put on highlighter or whatever. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that's so cool. And I love watching it. And then one of my daughter's friends, Precious she's on TikTok and she's just doing it for fun. She'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look what I got." And she's in her car and she's, she's 25, she's gorgeous and she's the hair and she's just always doing stuff. And I'm like, she'll do these makeup tutorials at home sometimes and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." Of course, it's not going to look like that on me. And I have no intention of ever doing it. I just love watching
No, it's
people
so
put
yeah, it's, like,
makeup
fun to,
on.
like, like, watch other
It's
people do what they're good at.
it's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, and
Um,
transforming is like Halloween, you know what I mean? Who doesn't like to do something that
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
normally do every once in a while? But yeah.
Yeah, I agree, I agree, and I think this might be true, but I'm not 100% sure. It's like all body hair turns gray after a while. That's what
I don't
I've
I don't
heard
know.
that, and it has not happened to me yet,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I heard that, and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh,
maybe.
really?" I had no idea.
I gotta think on that now, like,
I'm like, I don't know if that's true or if it's just a I don't know. I can't say myself
I've
because
never really, like, cared for the elderly in a situation where I
yeah,
would be see that
yeah,
and I
I
say
don't know.
privileged to see it because when you have to take care of someone, that is a privilege, especially if you get to see them in their worst in their late life. But I don't think I've ever been, thank goodness, I've had to do anything. Like, I've never had to, like, bathe in it. So I don't know. Hasn't
Yeah.
happened to me yet. So
Yeah, me
I don't
neither.
know
So
yet.
I'm 57, so I'm gonna hold tight.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, there is the
Oh
occasional
gosh, yeah, like
so
the
maybe, I don't know.
chase of the chin hairs, like the rough chin hairs. Those will probably come in a little white, but maybe. Now there's so much gray stuff out there, and I really feel like I'm excited about that because it's empowering. And I saw the cutest little hashtag. Somebody's using it. I don't even know if it's someone out there and this is like copy. I don't know. There's some stylist out there that's using hashtag it's okay to be gray
I love
instead of
that.
like it's okay to be gay because it's obviously okay to be both. But I feel like
Exactly.
isn't that sad that like we are where we are? It's 2026 and we have to tell women it's okay to have gray hair.
I know, I know.
It's okay. And actually some women just rock it and to me it's just so beautiful on a lot of women, on most women. I've actually not ever gray transitioned anyone's hair where I looked at it afterwards and ever thought it was ugly. Not one time.
And that makes sense because, I mean, we're meant to age like that,
Mhm.
really. But the thing that is interesting too about gray is that it changes as your face is changing through midlife. Your hair color changes the tone, or I guess it's like the
Yes.
contrast changes, and
Mhm.
so you're able to wear different colors and that you couldn't wear before.
Mhm.
So I can wear and I love light pink now, which is just I never ever wore any color when I lived in New York City. It was black and white, and that's it.
Well, you're in the fashion industry too,
Yeah,
so
and a
maybe.
scarf. Like I'd wear
Yeah.
like a fun
Yeah.
scarf, handbag, and shoes. But when I moved south, of course, there's a lot more color here,
Yeah.
but I didn't look good in certain colors, like maroon was one that I couldn't wear or like that dark wine red and forget light pink and certain colors, and now those are my go-to colors, and actually I'm wearing black now, but a lot of times sometimes black doesn't look good on me anymore, so I always have to kinda think about, what type of black I'm wearing, and but it's interesting. It's like a whole new rebirth.
It is, and people will say things like, "I don't think I can do it because I think it would wash me out," and I've yet to see that either. I've yet to see anyone grow out their gray. I like to say that God doesn't make mistakes. You are meant to, be who you are and your gray hair grow out, and so, like, if he didn't intend, or however you look at God, if they didn't intend for you to be where you are now, you wouldn't age this way. I don't know, I just look at it
Yeah,
that way, so why
no,
would you think it would wash you out? If there was not a way to fix it, you wouldn't know any different, you know?
true, and
And then
I
you can change your makeup, you can change your bronzer, you
right.
can, spend more time in the sun or whatever makes you feel more comfortable with, growing your gray hair out. But again, I'm not like I don't think everyone has to do it. I don't think it's for everybody. Like you wanna color your hair forever, let's do it, girl. Imma color your hair forever. But, like, if you wanna grow it out, let's do that too. I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I noticed too sometimes, like, when I was coloring it and it was a lot more gray, it looked like I was coloring gray hair, and
Yeah,
that
because it
bothered
doesn't hold
me.
the pigment a lot.
Yeah, and the texture was different, so that the way my hair looked then bothered me more than getting used to seeing the gray as it is. So
Yeah, I
it's
will say that when I first started growing mine out, I had a hard time getting used to these little I called them my little chicken hairs, because until they lay
oh,
completely
yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah,
I would look at the mirror and I'd have, like, these frizzy hairs sticking up everywhere, and I was like, "Oh, I look like a little plucked chicken," but then eventually it all grows in and it grows out and it starts to lay down. They are still a little bit more coarse. Some people's worse than others. I mean, mine's fairly soft, but every once in a while I'll get a wiry one. And then some people have more wiry, more coarse hair than when it goes gray than others. But it's, and two, we live in the South, so there's not a single product, keratin treatments help and good products help. But I always say, like, there is nothing that is going to be a miracle for your hair in this level of humidity. So you would just have to find what works best for you. But it's all about just being comfortable,
yeah, yeah, and
in yourself.
yeah, and I change it up too because we have that high humidity, so I use this Cantu, it's like a cocoa butter,
Hmm.
like, it's meant for ethnic hair, but I just put tons of that on when it's humid, and it's great because then my hair got curly when it got
Hmm.
gray. I was stick my hair well, it wasn't stick straight, but it was just barely wavy, and then as it got gray, the more gray it got, the more curly, and it's actually not very curly now because I blow dried it
You
yesterday
use the
for
blow, yeah.
my fancy
You use your blow dry brush.
my fancy blow dry brush,
Yeah.
but, when we have those days where it's not humid or I go to Colorado or something, I can't use hardly anything on my hair because then it's
Then
completely
it's, yeah,
flat,
flat.
and
Yeah.
so it's like that juggling thing, and I guess, I mean, I never had that problem before, but it's okay. It's an adjustment, and I have lots of different hairstyles
Yeah. We
depending
all
on the
just have to
weather.
adapt to where we are.
Exactly.
Depend, like, no, that applies to, like, all of life, you know.
It is. That's a yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, the sooner that we're able to adapt, I think the happier we are.
And the more comfortable you become.
True.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more confident now, and I don't know, it's not necessarily 100% related to the gray hair, but it definitely not worrying about it and thinking, "Oh, what do I look like?" or "How does it fit my personality or my lifestyle?" or whatever. It really is it was freedom for me and freedom not just from coloring it and having to stay on a schedule, but it was just like I felt like
Yeah.
I was able to really embrace myself without any apologies or any kind of
Amen.
judgment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
where I am, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing. And that's just in life in general. And you do have to get to a point of resolve, but you also have to get to a point in your life where it truly doesn't matter who you are if you have the right group of friends, like if you have the right environment. Because if you're
yes.
ever feeling that you don't belong, you probably don't.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay, but you have to go where you feel like you belong.
Yes.
Our life changes, and so when you're at different points in your life, you need different people and you need different support systems, and then some people are in your life for a season, and then, they're not in your life anymore, and so, like, hair is no different than that, really.
Yeah.
One thing I hate about hair is that how much people tie their identity to it. Like, it is such an identity thing that I just wish people would free themselves a little more, like, um, comb overs and helmet hair and things that people have identified with and just cannot let it go. It's almost like a security blanket, like their whole life is
100%.
gonna fall apart if they don't
Yes.
have a mullet or, like,
Yeah.
that's not your identity.
Or if you're really attached to really long hair
Yes.
or really short hair or yeah, that attachment, and I think there's a lot of, judgment in the mixed
Mhm.
in there, and it's unfortunate because I think, we deal with enough judgment from outside, which hopefully we don't allow in, but yeah, I think that's the freedom, it's like, I'm gonna stop judging myself for
Yeah.
the choices that I make.
And I
I
do
would
try to be better in the chair. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but I do try to encourage my clients please try to love yourself because it doesn't matter what we do to all this. If you're not good on the inside and you're not healthy on the inside and you're not feeling loved and supported in your life, whatever you do on the outside's truly not going to matter anyway,
That is
you
such
know?
a good point, and I think I wanna continue this conversation because I think that ties in so much to, the people that we become in midlife and the relationships that we have to let go. It's not just,
Mhm.
we were talking about letting go of hair, like letting go of a certain look. It also ties in with relationships. So,
Mhm.
if you don't mind sticking around, we will continue and talk
Okay,
about relationships and figuring out who to surround yourself with. So, if
definitely.
you yeah, cool.
Doesn't feel different than just hanging out with you at the house, but
I know, well, that's the whole point. I wanna
yeah,
keep it I just wanna keep it fun and real because
relatable.
we're all going through this at the
Yep.
same time. If you're on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and you want to get in touch with Leanne, all of her contact information will be in the show notes, and hope you enjoyed this little chat with Leanne. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And now it's time for the Patreon shout outs. I had some new members join me this month in Patreon, and Patreon is basically it's an app, a membership app you can join for free and get all your episodes 2 days early and get a shout out, preferably in the month that you joined. I do my best to try to do that in the same month. So this month I had Tiffany, Adrian, Renee, Jamie, and Connie join Patreon. Thank you so much for the support. It means really the world to me. And if you like what you're hearing on the Evolving Together podcast, would you please give a 5-star review wherever you listen and consider sharing an episode with somebody who you think needs to hear it? And if you really love it, just hop on over to Patreon. You can join for free or one of the other levels and get extra content. And now for the disclaimer. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as professional advice. The views expressed are our own and should not be taken as medical, legal, or financial guidance. Always consult a qualified professional regarding your specific situation. By listening, you agree that we are not liable for any actions taken based on this content.